Hi, I'm Marquel,
Hey, what's up? I'm Trevor,
and
and
this
this is
the
the
Huddle.
Huddle.
Trevor, man, it's been a while.
Yeah, man, it has, man. The first time we did it, we were starting out.
Hey, but we're getting closer to the moment we've been waiting on, man.
Yes, sir.
September 11th, the beginning of football season, man.
Man, I know where Marquel gonna be.
Right on the couch, man.
Yes, sir.
Prepared to watch my boys take it home, man. You know
Yeah,
what
yes, sir.
I mean?
Yes, sir.
But we'll get to that a little later, our projections and stuff like that, man.
hmm
But is there anything interesting that you've seen in the off season, Trevor?
Honestly, it's been the moves from the wide receivers. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's probably gotten the
Yeah.
most talk uh, with Adams going to Las Vegas and then Tariq Hill leaving KC to go to
Mm-hmm.
Miami. Uh,
Super
but
unexpected moves, right?
yeah. I think Tariq said once Devontae got his deal with
Mm-hmm.
the Raiders, like he went to his agent and his agent was like, "Yeah, we gotta we
We
gotta get
gotta
that
get that
bag."
bread.
And he said he didn't want to leave, but
Mhm.
you
I
know
can
the
understand
Chiefs
why,
wanted.
because the success they've had in Kansas City, but
Oh yeah.
sometimes you can't turn down the bag, especially when you already won championships, you already got rings.
hmm
I mean,
Especially
sometimes
in
you
a
get,
sport like football, like you
mhm.
got to get as much
Yeah,
guaranteed money as you can.
longevity is not promised in the NFL for sure.
Yeah,
And
most
all
definitely.
eyes right now are still in San Francisco on what's going to happen with Debo. So
hmm Yeah,
that's
that's kind of died. Well, in terms of everybody talking about it, that's kind of died down. I ain't heard too many people talking about that lately. But
but it's gonna when the training camp starts and he doesn't show up, it's gonna
yeah, it's
come
gonna
right
get
back.
it gonna get going. Yeah, because training camp starts what next week or is that the week
No,
after?
players are arriving today.
Today. Okay, yeah.
So uh, by the time this episode comes out, they should be practicing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But let's get it started, Trevor. So I think we could start off. So every week leading up to the season, we're gonna do our projections for the division. I'll have my projections, and then Trevor will have his, and then we'll like go back and forth on like what we think and why we think it.
Yeah.
So
Each division.
I think this week we're starting with the North. So we're gonna start
Mhm.
with the NFC North. And Trevor, do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
Yeah, I can go first.
Cool.
So I think this division is probably going to be the same for a lot of people. They probably
Mm-hmm.
see it the same. I mean, last season Green Bay was first, Minnesota second, Chicago third, Detroit fourth, and I
Mm-hmm.
think for the most part going into this next season is going to be more or less the same. Even though the Packers lost Devontae Adams, I think that their defense they have a lot of high draft picks that they've developed on the defensive end, and then signing a few people on that end. I feel like the defense is going to be uh, one of their strong points on that team,
Mm-hmm.
and Aaron Rodgers is going to figure out a way with that offense. Him and Matt LaFleur, they'll figure out how to carry that team through on the offensive end with running the ball and getting those receivers in play with Aaron Rodgers and on point. So I'm gonna take the Green Bay Packers finishing first. I feel like Minnesota, a lot of people kind of dismiss them at times, probably because uh, Kirk Cousins, their quarterback. It's like not many people, believe in him. But I think he does what he has to do. They still have Dalvin Cook coming. If he could stay healthy throughout the season, I know he's had some issues with staying
Injury
healthy
issues, yeah,
sometimes.
but that's all running backs.
Yeah. But Justin Jefferson coming off the season he had last year, coming into this
Mm-hmm.
year. So I'm gonna take them, and then with the Chicago Bears and who else is it?
Lions.
The Lions. I feel like that's probably going to be the one that you really don't know because the Lions actually I feel like they made some steps last year with playing as hard as they did and trying to develop there. So you know what, I'm gonna go with the Lions at 3 and the Bears at 4 because I feel like the Bears didn't really do much on
So,
this offseason on getting players.
so Trevor, I definitely agree with you at the top. We all know the Packers are going to find a way. Aaron Rodgers has owned that division. They may have lost Devontae Adams, but they still have Jones at running back. And they still have Aaron Rodgers. Like, he can do whatever he wants with his arm, right? They're going to be fine as far as the division goes. But my question mark comes on the number 2 and number 3 spot.
Mm-hmm.
So I like what you said about the Vikings and them being underrated and stuff like that. But we also have to keep in mind, towards the end of the year, the Lions were kind of picking it up and they were winning games they shouldn't be winning. And they picked up some elite talent in the draft, especially Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah.
And defensively, he's going to be a problem.
Oh, he's a dog.
And I know they definitely the fact of him being a dog is going to kill the Bears. Like, I mean, we're not worried about them. They're definitely going to be last. But when it comes to that second and third spot, I have that one a lot tighter than you do. So I think I think the real competition will be in that spot, and I think the Vikings and the Lions will both be competing for a wild card spot this year. But I think the Vikings will probably have the edge and end up getting that second spot.
Yeah, no, I definitely see where you're coming from because I actually like how the Lions finished up last season. They were fighting throughout really the whole season. If you really went and looked at their games, when they lost, they didn't lose by like 21 points or anything. Like, it wasn't blowouts. They were close games. Like, they were in those games and you could see like they slowly started to pick it up. So I can see where you're coming from. I just still feel like they're maybe a year away from actually probably competing a little more. But I can see it being close though. I just kind of think the Vikings, with some of the veteran players that they have, they're a little older than some of the players on the Lions. I just kind of trust that a little more. But the Lions did get I think Williams, I think that's his name, from Alabama, the receiver. And once he heal up, I think he's gonna be real good. So they just got to get Jared
him
Goff.
The ball, right?
Yeah, they just got to get Jared Goff.
But they also have Swift in the backfield, and I had him on my fantasy team last year, and he did really well. So
yeah, Swift is nice.
Yeah. So that's the NFC North. Let's move it over to the AFC North, which is going to be a very, very competitive division.
Hold on, I gotta look at it because this is going to be a tough one.
So I'll say this: the Steelers and the Ravens are always competing in that division, but the teams that are usually at the bottom, I don't know. They might be the top now.
Yeah,
talent-wise, at least. Of course, I'll do mine first this time. Of course, the Browns are the Browns, but even without Deshaun Watson playing, if he's out for half the season or whatever the deal is, they still probably have the most talented team in the division. They have Clowney and Myles Garrett on the defensive line causing havoc. They have an amazing secondary. And they're probably the best running game in the division with Chubb and Kareem Hunt. And, of course, they stole Amari Cooper from us. Well, they didn't steal him. We gave him away for nothing. But and I like Jacoby Brissett, man. He takes care of the ball, and he doesn't make a lot of mistakes, man. So that's pretty much all he'll have to do to win there. Like, that's all Baker really needed to do. But he couldn't do to take care of the ball part. But and they still went, 8-9, and they had a really good season the year before with Baker and his turnover issues. So even if Deshaun Watson misses half the season or doesn't play at all, I think Jacoby Brissett could win them this division. I definitely have the defending Super Bowl contenders, the Cincinnati Bengals, second place. Of course, they had a little bit of help when it came to getting to the Super Bowl with injuries and things like that, but they still have Joe Burrow, who is a very clutch quarterback, Jamar Chase, elite receiver, and their run game is pretty good too. So I think they'll still be able to hold it down. And they got one of the toughest kickers in the game, man.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah.
So I guess, and what I think it'll really come down to, this division is going to be tight, very tight. I don't think any of them will be competing for like first place in the conference or anything like that. Like they're looking at like 4 or 5. They might get 3 teams into the playoffs with lower like a 9 and 8, 10 and 5, 10 and 7s. You know what I mean? Because they're just gonna beat each other up. But I definitely have the Steelers in 3rd place just because when it comes down to the Steelers and Ravens, like somebody has to finish last. And I just don't think Lamar Jackson has much to work with. It'll be all him. And will he be able to stay healthy with the pass rushes that he's going to get from these teams? Like, just imagine playing against the Browns and the Steelers, and your receivers can't get open. You got J.J. Watt coming at you and Myles Garrett. It's not going to be pretty, probably. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he doesn't have Hollywood. He doesn't have
It's
Hollywood Brown anymore. Yeah. I don't know how the run game, other than him, like taking off.
Who did they get to replace put in the wide receiver spot? Did they get anybody?
They might have drafted some.
Oh, they draft. I think they did draft some people.
You just lost the number 1 receiver.
Yeah, they drafted some receivers.
It's definitely good. They've always been tight end heavy on the passing game. So
yeah,
but
I know they still got Watkins.
I just can't see them doing that great without like a superstar talent on the outside. And the Steelers are the Steelers. They're always solid. No matter how terrible the roster may be, they played these last few years with Big Ben and still made the playoffs both times. Mike Tomlin's just a great coach, so I gotta have him having the edge over that Ravens team.
Never had a losing season.
Never, and I don't see him doing it this year.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Trevor? I got Browns, Bengals, Steelers, Ravens.
So I'm gonna go with the Bengals. I mean, they are the defending.
One thing I do want to remind you. One thing I do want to remind you about last year, Trevor. The Bengals did not beat the Browns last year at all.
Fair enough. Fair point.
I want you to remember that.
Yeah, no, fair. That's a fair point. But they still ended up in the first place, but in that division. And I see where you're coming from with the Browns. Like their roster from top to bottom, they probably got the best roster in the NFL. No arguing that. But I do think that with the Bengals shoring up the offensive line, that's going to give Joe Burrow some more time. Have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins back this upcoming season, still continue to build off that chemistry they've built, and then Mixon in the backfield, they still have him. So I think that's going to be offense that's going to take another step after being together and doing what they did. And they were definitely not perfect last year. You could point to some games where they dropped the ball, most definitely. And like you said, they didn't beat the Browns last year, but I see them taking another step forward and being at the top of that division. And I will go with you on the Browns. Like, again, from top to bottom, they probably got the best roster in the NFL. And even if Deshaun Watson doesn't play, like you said, Jacoby Brissett can hold it down.
I think they have a decent third string. That wasn't too bad, so I can't remember.
I don't know. I don't know about third string, but I know Jacoby Brissett.
Maybe I'm thinking that the third string was Baker Mayfield. I can't remember. I felt like they picked another quarterback up, not Josh Rosen, but it was another one. But
I think that they were looking at Josh Rosen.
No, I know they got Josh Rosen.
They did.
That's not who I'm talking about. We're not worried about Josh Rosen.
Okay, because I saw that they were looking at him, but
they got him.
But yeah, I mean, Jacoby Brissett from his Patriot days, that's when he really got a chance to start and did well.
I'll say Indianapolis.
Indianapolis, I was about to bring that up. Indianapolis, I felt like he did very well, but they ended up going in a different direction with Carson Wentz.
The wrong direction.
And we all know how that turned out.
He's gone now,
yeah. But we'll get to him.
But they have Matt Ryan now, so
yeah.
But we'll talk about all that later.
Yeah. But No, I think I definitely see the Browns and the Bengals battling out for that division. Uh, like you said, the Ravens, their team overall is not that great, but
Definitely lacking.
if you have to bet on something, you got to bet on Lamar. It's just his body. Like he carried that team last year, but I think they're going to end up in the same spot that they did last year. And
If you
last
got to bet, hold on, Trevor. If you have to bet on somebody, you got to bet on Lamar.
for if I'm the Ravens and I got to bet
Oh,
on
I'm
somebody,
saying, I'm just
my
saying
bad.
that.
I probably
I
said
thought
that
you were saying
wrong.
if you had the options, you got to bet on
Oh
Lamar.
no,
And I
no,
was
no, 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 no.
like,
No, but if I like I probably said that wrong. But if I'm the Ravens and I got like Lamar, he carried that team last year. I feel like it's probably
he
gonna
gonna
be a
carry
lot.
it. Every win they get this year, he gonna carry him.
Yeah, yeah. And I feel like that's how it's gonna be. And I feel like they're gonna still end up in the same spot they did last year. So I'm gonna put the Steelers in that 3 spot, the Ravens at 4,
Mhm.
because I believe in it. And uh Tom what's his last name? Not Coughlin. I don't know I'm
Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin. I don't know why I said Tom Coughlin, but Mike Tomlin. I'm a believer in Mike Tomlin, man. He's never had a losing season, and he's always got his stuff together. And they got Kenny Pickett coming in. I know they got Mitchell Trubisky, but I mean, he's if one of them's not doing that well, he's gonna make the right decision for the team. And their defense is always great. They have JJ Watt's brother there, TJ, and he's I know he's rated very high in Madden. He's like
Mhm.
one of the top.
He should be. He
I
gets the
think he's
most
the
sacks
top.
every year.
Yeah, he's the top defensive end, right?
No clue.
It's either him or Miles Garrett.
Yeah, it's
One,
one of
one of
them.
them two. So they got him. They got some dogs on the defensive end. I'm gonna take them at 3.
Yeah, feel that, Trevor. So now that we went through our projections for those two divisions, let's hit two quick categories before we get out of here, man. Who do you think is going to be the most improved, like young returning player? So let's say like 3 years or less.
3 years or less. The most improved or the
Mhm.
best?
Oh, who's going to have like the most impact on their
The
team this year?
most effect. Okay. I'm gonna go with Jamar Chase again because
Hmm.
even I feel like he's definitely gonna get more attention, but if he's taking on that attention, uh that's gonna open it up for everybody else. And if you don't give him that attention, he's gonna burn you. So I'm gonna go with Jamar Chase. I feel like he's gonna put up some numbers, but even if he doesn't, he's still gonna affect the game and help everybody get open and help his team win.
Okay, I understand that. Jamar Chase, he played great last year, and the Bengals probably can't move without him and be great again. But I think there's another team with a great player who's probably going to end up being MVP, and the only person that's going to be able to help him out with that is one person, and his name is CeeDee Lamb. So
Okay.
for the Cowboys to have a as successful year as they should, CeeDee Lamb's gonna have to be great. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
he's gonna have to
definitely.
step up, be Des Bryant esque, give us what Amari Cooper did when we threw him the ball. You know what I mean? Like CeeDee Lamb's gonna have to be the guy this year, and I think he might have the most effect because it's either gonna be a super negative effect, like losing season, or it's gonna be a super positive effect, like NFC Championship game type. You know what I mean?
No, I feel you. He's a big key to that team this year.
Cool. So now let's go to the rookies. What rookie do you think is going to have the biggest impact this year?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Garrett Wilson.
Okay. Why
I
do you think
think
that?
I think he's an explosive receiver. Coming into the Jets uh, team, I think that core group, that young group, they're gonna have to figure some stuff out and get going. I feel like Zach Wilson is due for a good season this year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he's gonna be like the best, guy to take that next jump,
Mm-hmm.
but
But you think he's gonna
I
improve?
think he's gonna improve, and I feel like Garrett Wilson there is gonna help him do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the receiver route too, but I'm gonna go with Chris Olave, just because I feel like he's not gonna have a lot of pressure on him with Mike Thomas there, and a lot of people forget about how well of a season Jameis Winston was having last year before he got injured. So I definitely have to go Chris Olave on this one.
I feel you. No, that's a good pick because they're in a really good system where you have Mike Tomlin. I mean, not Mike. We have
Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas, and you have Jameis Winston, and then Kamara. So the pressure isn't all on him. He can just go out there.
They got a lot of weapons. He can just go out there and make plays when he's fouled on.
Yeah. Oh, I got a kind of a runner up to the best returning player though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Trevor Lawrence because I feel like he's gonna be better too
without that coach.
Yeah. We all know who that coach is.
And the running back's gonna be playing. Oh, Travis Etienne.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be playing this year, so that's gonna help him a lot too. Having a pretty decent running game, get the play action with him.
Yep.
And I'm sure they did some
good signings.
Yeah,
they picked up some good players, and then they also have Doug Peterson coming in.
He was another player Trevor Lawrence is another player that you could see picking it up down the stretch last season. So
yeah, and then Doug Peterson as the coach, I feel like he's gonna be good because he's had success with quarterbacks in the past. So
yeah. Well, Trevor, we had one more topic, but we're running out of time, man. So we'll pick that one up next week. But we want to thank everybody for tuning in, man. As always, if you enjoyed this, follow, subscribe, check us out on Instagram, Twitter, everywhere, man. And always tune in next week, man. And we appreciate y'all. We'll see you.
Peace.